Hey everybody, welcome back to the Ashcan podcast. This is Jason.
Hey everybody, I'm Phil.
Rather eventful evening for us. This is about the third time we've had to restart recording, so hopefully no more hiccups from here.
Yep,
Um,
all engines are go, Captain.
all engines are go. Awesome. Okay, so a little bit of an update from the last episode. We were talking about Whilce Portacio. He was he's drawn X Factor, what works. I guess he is or was drawing Spawn. I mentioned that he went through some kind of real big health crisis, and but what I heard was years ago, and I wanted to have the information correct. So I looked it up, and in about 2000, he has diabetes, and his pancreas was failing, and which put him in a coma for about a week, and then he woke up and he couldn't walk, stand, or even draw. And it took 6 months for him to be able to pick up a pencil again. I just wanted to just give more clarification to it because I know I believe I sounded kind of vague about it and I wasn't sure. And I believe we're going to work on a format as an artist spotlight to where, and he will probably be the first one since he got mentioned because he has an amazing career. So
Oh yeah.
I think, and so there is that. So uh, uh, so we started watching The Witcher show on Netflix. My wife and I. My wife and I picked it after I told her you're not going to like it, and because she's unaware of it as being a video game. I know of it as just only by the video game, and I've just started watching it. I know, it's very different. They have announced a season two.
Which is good. I'm excited for that. Um,
Right.
I've enjoyed the series. Um, it, it, now I'm just wondering about you. Like, did your wife watch Game of Thrones with you, or
Yeah. Well, yeah. As mentioned in the in the previous episode, yeah, she did. And she liked it, but then I mean, not to get into that rant again. I stopped watching it because he wouldn't release any more books.
right?
She enjoyed it, and that's pretty graphic, like
So
in all kind of things. It's really graphic.
do you find that this series, the start of this series, may be kind of like picking up like where people are kind of like they're wishing they still had Game of Thrones, where
No, because to me this has a feel of something else.
yeah.
Um, and again, not really knowing the video games too well. I'm aware of them, and I've heard that they're good. But um, it's just one of those things where we're not, it's just it was kind of up in the air. Uh, like I was aware of it as a video game. I knew, like I said, my wife's not really typically drawn to stuff like that, so I have to be careful. After I warned her you're not going to like it, she eventually we started watching it. Very violent, which is probably given to the video game too. But it's brutal. Like I think it was in the first spoilers, the first and or second episode where the two armies are fighting.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that was the
That's
first.
almost almost up there with that fight scene out of Lord of the Rings.
What, like Helm's Deep or
Helm's Deep, yeah, where it was just they just it was war, and it was people just being grinded together.
mm-hmm.
I mean, to me that's like a standard bearer. That's the standard for any kind of fight scenes like that. So, but we still, when we were watching the first one, we fell asleep and then like didn't get to it till maybe about a week later or something like that. And he, she, we, so we watch it, and then all of a sudden, if I thought it skipped.
Yeah.
Like I thought it just would skip to the next episode because it just all of a sudden it was just didn't make any sense. I mean, they have a lot of things going on.
Chronology doesn't exactly follow every single character in this, but yeah, when you go through the season, you kind of understand where things are actually placed.
Right. Um, so I mean, and then what was it? There was another scene. Spoilers. I don't remember the character's name, but the one that was going to like a maid school that she could teleport the pig the woman called her Piglet, or the girl that was like a pig farmer.
Right. What was her name? Was it like Jessica or Jessica?
Something like that.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
there
I haven't watched it for like 2 weeks now, or
were
almost 3 weeks. Yeah.
oh wow. So the scene where they uh they oh boy. Where they were like there was like three of them standing in front of the head one whose name I can't remember, and she turns them into eels and then made um Piglet like kick them into that pool.
Mm-hmm. It's like a
I
magic well or something.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell that is. I had no idea why she did it to those three, and then you know what I mean. Like I didn't like. I was just like, oh, she turned him into what, eels, and then made the other girl kick him into the water. Like I didn't know. I mean, I don't know if I was following it that close, or I may have been like going in and out of consciousness, but it was just kind of. It was like, ooh, that's kind of weird. Um. So what do you think of Henry Cavill? Cavill?
Yeah. Um.
What do you think? What do you think?
So he looks good for the part.
Yeah.
Um. Uh. His action scenes, like everything he does, is good. What bothers me, and I don't know if that's just how the character is, how what the character Gerard is like, but the way he talks, it's just he goes into this like deep, you know, like tortured voice, like he's
Yeah.
he's like the Clint Eastwood
Of
of the
of that
fantasy
world.
realms.
Yeah.
it,
Yeah. That's interesting. Yeah.
it in a way it was hard for me to keep it serious at that point,
Yeah.
but it's fine. He's a character, and we can go with it. It's different hearing him talk, for real.
Well,
Now,
see, the thing is that so I mean, I guess if you look at the base of the character, so he's like half human, half some kind of whatever monster or whatever you want to call it. Because again, it hasn't been revealed yet, and I've never played the game, so I've never really like gone into it. So the way in the presentation is he kind of went through some stuff, and that because of him being a witcher, it's not this very very positive thing, and a lot of people don't want him around, is what my understanding is.
yeah,
Um,
unless they need him,
yeah,
for
they need
something.
him for something specific, that they generally don't want to have anybody like him around, and I think and that whatever that timeline is, he's one of a few that are still around.
Right.
So I mean I like What's his name? Cavill.
I I've heard of Cavill.
Cavill. We'll go with
And
that.
yeah,
He played probably the one Superman movie that I liked.
mm-hmm.
That first one that he did with Costner and what's the other guy? Um, uh,
Michael Shannon.
no, not Michael Shannon.
Oh yeah, you're talking
No,
about
he's
Zod.
Australian. What?
Are you talking about Zod?
No, not Zod. His dad on Krypton.
Oh,
The actor. His name's right there. He did The Gladiator.
yeah,
Um,
Maximus. Oh,
um,
Russell Crowe. There we
yes,
go.
Russell Crowe. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Man, the
So,
memory
I mean,
banks were just not working at that point.
right, yeah. Yeah, so Russell Crowe is kind of like, I mean, it was, to me, well done. They did something kind of different with it.
hmm
Um,
I
you
enjoyed
know,
Man of Steel a lot, and
yeah,
I thought that was going to, and they were making it like the start of the DC, universe in a way,
right,
and I was hyped for it.
right.
Um, and I think he did do a good job, but I can't say it's, the best Superman movie of all time. But
No, no, no. I mean, well, that's instead, I think that's a point of conjecture. I know for me, I enjoyed it. Like, I think that was what I did for Father's Day.
oh, cool! I would have liked that.
When it came out. Hang on, let me go deal with my dog.
All right,
Hang on, no, you're
so
good.
I feel
Yeah.
that yeah, Man of Steel was great, and they did a little spot in the movie. And I'm gonna get like deep and detailed with this. Is
Yeah.
that there's that one point where Superman he's being beat down because there's that world machine going on where it's changing the atmosphere and he went on the other side of the world to try to stop it
Right.
and there's that like huge like gravity beam that was being pushed down
Yeah.
and he was under it yet he still had the power to kind of stand up and look
Right.
up and I don't know if they purposely did it or what, but he stopped looking like Henry Cavill or that type of Superman, and
Right.
he looked just like Christopher Reeves, and I got goosebumps, and
Oh wow. Yeah. Yeah.
the music was going.
Oh wow.
I'm like, wow,
Yeah.
they, and then that was the turning point for him. He started, you know, defeating the machine, and then he fought with
Right.
Zod, and yeah, it was like that was the low point, and he stood up and looked like Superman
Yeah.
that we knew, and
Right.
yeah, I was sold.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, I mean, it's just one of those things. Wow. Yeah. No, I don't even. I remember that scene, and I don't. Because it was real. There was a lot of effects going on too, like digital effects going on. Um, so yeah, but yeah, so Witcher's supposed to come out in sometime in 2021 for season two.
Okay.
I do know that the guy who the author who created it, um, whose name I couldn't pronounce, he's supposed to be in talks with some kind of game developer for a new game. That's not Witcher. I don't remember the studio.
Oh,
Let me look this up here real quick.
now from what I've heard from other people, um, yeah, so this series is pretty graphic, um, violence, uh, language, and
Right.
and the type of skin that they show. But I've heard from people that the video game is like almost 10 times more.
Right. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. I mean, you could tell. I mean, yeah, just with some of the stuff that they were able to pull off and the fight sequences that he had, it's brutal. Like I remember him taking a sword and like literally shoving it in somebody's mouth and then just coming up and just that was something. You know what I mean? Like it was just so like, oh wow.
yeah. Um, but I don't know. Maybe I'm that desensitized where I didn't find it, like I just found it like, oh, that's cool. They did that, you know.
Right. Right. Well, I mean, to me that like, I mean, I sometimes I have some anxiety issues with stuff like that. That it was just kind of like, like it was just it sometimes it just overloads you. Sometimes you're numb to it, but then like the opening sequence to the first Blade movie, I had to walk out of the theater. It was so bad.
Ooh.
How blood, just the fake blood going around. It was just like
Eh,
at the time, I just, oh yeah, it was just overwhelming. But it's just always something. Um, he's yeah, but I know he's in talks with somebody. I just don't know who it is. Um, but I know he's in development for a game, which is cool. Um, I mean, for him, I mean, just if he can get something developed into a video game and it hits like The Witcher did, or like Halo, like it's a lot of money.
mm-hmm.
The Assassin's Creed games. But yeah, so yeah, no, it's a good. I mean, so far I'm enjoying it. It's just there's a lot going on.
Um, did you see what else has been announced for release later this year and next year? I don't know if you watch the Super Bowl at all. Um,
No, I didn't. Oh, the only thing I heard outside of the Super Bowl was no, there was no. Wait a minute. There was. I don't remember what it was, but the only thing. Yeah, I'd heard of it. I don't remember what it was. Um, I don't know which movie it was. It was a Marvel movie, wasn't it?
yeah, they showed more of Black Widow, but
Yeah.
then no one expected it. But they showed
Right.
a commercial for Disney Plus, and
Uh.
they started out showing um, some clips of the new show that they have, Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Yeah, I was gonna go into that.
Cool.
So the yeah, so to kind of a nice segue. So Marvel has released their Phase 4 shows.
Yeah.
So for the movies, May 1st will be Black Widow, which has been anticipated. I mean, they've been ramping up for that one, and that one will. I haven't really seen too much. It looks pretty good. You have the Eternals movie.
Which I think is supposed to be in November, December, somewhere around there.
Um, I found a site that gave it to me. It's saying fall of 2020, and with what I'm looking at,
Okay.
um, the Eternals movie is supposed to be November 6th. That one should be interesting,
Hmm.
depending on what route they go, because I know Gaiman was involved with that uh, that that franchise at some point. That's pretty well regarded. The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I don't really. Uh, I think it's a neat idea. Instead of doing a Captain America, movie, You take the two guys that kind of worked with him.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't know. Like, I mean, that should be good. I mean, they also said spring. Give me a second. Okay, let's see. We have the Eternals movie. February 12th, 2021 is Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings.
Yeah. Okay.
That one should I mean, again, nothing's being seen from it. I think that would probably be pretty good. You're looking at WandaVision on Disney Plus in 2021, a spring. Um, I think that's what Wanda and the Vision, like their relationship type of thing.
Yeah. Like it looks like somehow don't know really how it's happening this way, but they're like going through like different like sitcoms like that were on TV back, I don't know, as far back as like the 50s, and throughout.
Right.
Um yeah, it makes you wonder like how that's going to play out, but it looks really interesting and gimmicky
Right.
and yeah, I'm excited for that.
Right. Then we have in May 7th, 2021, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness.
Yes.
I think I've seen the first one for sure of that, and I really enjoyed that movie.
I
Like,
just watched it
with
this morning.
really, oh,
Yeah.
it's so good. Like, just that whole thing, like, it's so good. Um, then we have Loki. Loki is getting a series on Disney Plus.
Hmm.
Not so sure how I feel about that one.
Uh, do you like the character of
Well,
Loki?
so Loki is kind of like, if you look at it, he's like, a proper representation of like chaos.
Hmm.
I mean, in so many words, and where he, he could be played off to where, well, he means well, or he's just that evil. You know what I mean? Like, there's no in between. Like, I mean, not said necessarily that there should be an in between, but you don't. And I think that's what interesting too is that you just don't know what you're gonna get. You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
don't know if they're gonna have any kind of Thor involvement with it or any of the other, Asgardian um, gods involved too. Summer of 2021 is What If. I don't know if that's for Disney Plus or if that's a movie, because when I'm looking at it doesn't say.
From what I've heard here and there, that it's going to be an a series on Disney Plus, but
Okay.
it's going to be animated series.
Oh, that would be entertaining.
Yeah. But it's only going to deal with uh, the cinematic universe and the characters in it. So it's not going to be
Right.
like What If, like the comic book series.
Right.
It'll be animated What Ifs from uh from the past movies and series we've had.
Right. And then fall of 2021, we're supposed to get a Hawkeye movie, which is, I think, long overdue because he was supposed to have gotten one years ago.
Yeah.
Um, I
I
like it. If they get Renner to do it, I'm in.
yeah.
I'm
I don't
just
think they.
not necessarily. What's that?
I'm not thinking they could do a Hawkeye movie without him.
Yeah. And I'm not necessarily sure like what they're gonna do with it.
Hmm.
it's one of those things where you kind of like, you never know. And then November 5th of 2021 is Thor 4, Love and Thunder. Um, I didn't see the first one. I saw
I
this.
love that title.
Yeah, Love and Thunder. So yeah, yeah, and I liked the Thor Ragnarok one. I didn't see the first one, but I saw the second one. And it was fun. It was a lot of fun. I mean, it was fun to watch. There were some moments in it that were kind of funny, you know. Um, so the Black Widow movie takes place shortly after the Captain America Civil War movie.
Right. Yeah, she left the Avengers. She left Tony.
Right,
Uh,
right.
and in a way, she's kind of on the run.
Yeah, because they think, yeah, that's kind of like that thing. Yeah. And apparently it's going to make it a prequel to the more recent Avengers movies.
Okay.
So, in the Thor Love and Thunder, it's got Hemsworth in it, and Taika Waititi
Mm-hmm.
for writing and directing. And it's been announced that Natalie Portman will be Lady Thor in Thor 4. So that's
Yeah.
kind of cool to see her back. The let's see what else we got.
It all seems so far away right now, doesn't it?
Right, yeah, well that's like another year for a lot of it.
Yeah.
Then also too, um, yeah, that Loki's supposed to be getting a TV series, and then let's see what else. That apparently the Doctor Strange one as something concerning with the Spider-Man Far From Home, that multiverse
Yeah.
um, type of thing.
Well,
That's all is really being. What's it? Go ahead.
they talked about the multiverse in the first Doctor Strange a lot.
Right,
After going back and watching it again,
right,
um, which is which I like because
right.
they were definitely hinting at what would be kind of coming up. Um, did you hear the news lately about Doctor Strange 2?
No.
Um, well, the first director, Scott, um, um, oh, what's his last name? Robertson? Or, um, I'm sorry, I forget the last name. Anyways,
Right,
he was already planned to direct the second one. Uh, but 2 weeks ago, he announced that he is taking himself out of directing the movie, and due to creative differences. So
really.
yeah, he's not
Oh,
doing it.
oh
Um,
wow.
I
Okay.
think I think the news is that uh, the rumor was that the movie was going to be somewhat of like a horror based theme,
Right,
and which that being like a Disney movie, or a Marvel movie doesn't fit, and people were thinking that that was the plan, and he's
right,
leaving because they were wanting to kind of water it down.
right.
Um, Now just the last couple days, there Kevin Feige, the producer, has brought in another director to maybe take up that mantle. Nothing's been confirmed yet, but are you ready for this?
Go.
Sam Raimi is going to be possibly directing the new Doctor Strange movie.
That would be
So
interesting.
Sam
That would be
Raimi,
very interesting. Yeah.
yeah, Evil Dead, and
Right.
the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movies.
Right.
I find that very, very interesting too. Yeah.
Right. The Eternals movie will be starring Angelina Jolie. And then apparently in the Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings has Simu Liu as Shang-Chi.
Okay. That's
So,
great.
yeah, though, yeah, I mean, like, yeah, I mean, hopefully though we'll get a better Iron Fist thing out of that.
Yeah. No, it has to be. What interests me is the Ten Rings, honestly,
Yeah, yeah.
because that
Yeah,
was like,
that's more. See, Shang-Chi was like more like a '70s kind of comic, but like '70s kind of a thing.
hmm
I mean, because isn't he kind of tied in with like Iron Fist kind of a thing, like deal?
yeah. Um, I don't know if it's like tied into his story, but
Right,
they were all popular around the same time. So when Bruce
right,
Lee
yeah,
was popular,
right,
in the movies in the 70s,
hmm,
and then you had like a whole lot of that street justice
right,
um comics for Marvel.
yeah,
So yeah, the kung fu was big back then.
yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, that was a big deal. They've also have announced a Blade movie
Oh yeah. Oh my gosh,
starring Maher, oh boy,
I can't.
Mahershala Ali. So that's
I
going to be interesting. Hello.
Yeah.
Okay.
I loved Blade. I know
Yeah. Yeah, that first one especially was really, really good.
I wasn't sure if I was gonna like it when I first saw it,
Right.
but as it went through, like I really got into it.
Right.
Um I don't know if introducing vampires to the MCU is needed.
Well, if you think about it, Morbius,
That's true.
I mean, that could
But
be something they could build. I mean, potentially they could build on later.
yeah.
It's kind of hard to say. I mean, since they can't really, since nobody can really do a good enough Ghost Rider movie.
What what's wrong with Nicolas Cage?
Listen, come on, really? They
I'm
did
sorry.
two of them and they were bad. Like I don't know what it was. I don't know if it's just something that it's just it's a lot harder to write or the scripts weren't, didn't wound up being not like that great. Um, but yeah, because I was excited for it and then I saw it, I'm like, oof, that's bad. Like that's really bad. Um, I mean, but maybe they can find that right guy or they can get that right tone to it. You know what I mean?
hmm
Where it's real dark and kind of edgy to a degree. But that's what they're announcing for Phase 4 and the release date. So it's kind of cool.
Yeah,
Uh,
they'll get my
but a
money
long
no
ways
matter what.
off. Yeah, but it's a long ways off too.
Yeah,
You're right. Yes, yeah. Sam Raimi deserves another. Like he's getting Doctor Strange too.
cool.
Is from what I just saw. Um, but yeah, so it's kind of cool, just all of that, like just stuff. And there were some other things I saw that were kind of worth noting. But it's just kind of cool, like that like Marvel they had that kind of power now to do all these different things.
Was there any mention of Deadpool?
No, no mention.
Mm.
So I don't know if it's something they're going to spring on everybody or they're going to wait for Comic-Con to announce it.
Yeah, I'm looking at like this is stuff that they are announcing that they have planned, but
Right,
they could be working on other stuff that they haven't really got not really talking about right now
right.
until maybe later. I'm
Like I
I'm
said, I mean,
I'm wondering.
that sounds like it's going to be like a Comic-Con unveiling. Because
Yeah,
that's anytime they ever done anything with Deadpool, they usually go to San Diego to like San Diego you know, gets it released.
yeah, it's gonna be a while until that. The only thing we got coming up now is for any sort of announcements, and it probably won't be like entertainment wise. Will
Right.
will be like Toy Fair, which is in New York, and that
Yeah.
is this not this weekend, but next weekend. So they'll be unveiling a whole lot of new toys and stuff like that. And I don't know if that will have any course or reflection upon what we're looking at, but oh yeah, it's a
Right.
while till the summer Comic Cons. So
Right. Yeah. Well, we got some months to go, so I don't know if they're gonna just unveil it there or there might be slow teasers between now and then. It's hard to say. So apparently, the live action Lion King,
yeah,
uh, Disney apologized to a school that was charged $250 for showing the Lion King.
250,000.
No, 100.
Oh,
Supposedly, Iger had apologized to a California elementary school that was charged $250 for showing the studio's 2019 remake of The Lion King during a fundraiser event.
oh,
And they tweeted, Iger had tweeted an apology, and he says, I will personally donate to their fundraising initiative.
oh, okay. My
I don't know
gosh.
how. See, that's kind of weird. So this kind of harkens back to like dubbing on VHS or dubbing on tape or dubbing on CDs, like that. It's that gray area, right? Like so where you own it and you're making like you have the ability to make a copy for yourself, but you could also give it away too.
That's
You know what I
true.
mean?
Yeah.
And so it's kind of like, well, if you're doing it, like everybody's okay if you're doing it for yourself. But like the minute you start giving it away, like like giving it away or showing it for free, and you're talking like Disney's not a small franchise anymore, with all these different studios that they have under their umbrella, like it's kind of hard to say. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like like and so I think when you're doing a fundraiser, to me that's like something that's like, hey, that's kind of cool for them. It's a fundraiser. It's not like they're going, hey, come over here and pay, I don't know, $10 for a soda and a popcorn and a ticket.
They do
And
that.
and it's not and
They
not
do that in a lot of places. Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like and just to kind of do it to make money for themselves outside of like a theater. You,
Hmm.
you know what I mean? Like I could see them going after them for that, but it was like a charity event. You know,
Yeah.
it's just one of those things where I like, I don't, I mean, you couldn't really argue fair use law. I mean, because who knows if somebody was, videotaping it or not. I mean, I'm just kind of just speaking, but apparently it was, yeah, they illegally screened it at a Parents' Night Out fundraiser last year.
Oh, it was last year.
Uh-huh. Yep.
Okay. Yeah.
So I don't know. I think they need to lighten up. I mean, I understand. Like, I mean, I don't know if it was during, while it was in theaters. I don't think so. But, how much more money do you guys really need to make? I mean, I understand. I understand. Trust me. Like they need to make their profits and make the money, their money back on the movie. But let's face it, that movie made its profit and then some within opening weekend.
Yeah, it did.
Like it did really well, and so you can't, you have to have all the shekels. Like I don't know. I find it to kind of be in poor taste, but I mean, but but kudos on Iger for kind of apologizing and just trying to make up for it. Um, so apparently somebody did some. Is this the one? There was an anime that did a one shot of Trump with Trump in it, and it was a free comic. Did you read that?
No, no, I don't think I've heard about it.
Yeah, hang on. I saw that. And let's see. Anime. Let's see. Yeah, I found it kind of be like, I didn't really necessarily read it at the time, but I found it to be interesting because he's a bit of a controversial character. Yeah, he was in. It was just announced. What was it? My Hero Academia?
I've heard of that.
Yeah, I don't know if it was that one or not, but it was like some kind of like one shot like comic um, that I can't. I'm dorking on who released it or whatever. But yeah, so I mean, to use President Trump and I mean to use a president in comics is kind of like an uncommon thing. But then, mind you, like Marvel did it with Obama when Obama was in office.
Oh yeah.
I don't
No,
remember which book it was.
they've
Yeah,
put it. They've put in the president in so many comics before throughout the years.
right.
Remember Dark Knight Returns or yeah, yeah. Didn't they have
Yeah,
Reagan in that?
probably. Yeah. I mean, that doesn't surprise me. That
Uh,
doesn't surprise me.
no, it's always been. I always saw comics as satirical too.
Yeah,
You
I
know,
mean, it has that. Yeah, it could do that too. Yeah. Yeah, I
you
mean,
know,
well, I
just
mean, the first cartoons were, I mean, in a lot of
yeah,
ways, were satirical, especially
yeah.
when they came when the colonies were founded here. Um, it was, I mean, it was just a way to get to poke fun at the throne and their policies.
Hmm. Um, I think it. I don't know. Has there is there backlash or something about it or is
For I don't know if there was backlash, or if there was, it would probably tie it in with the impeachment proceedings.
okay.
You know what I mean? Like, I mean, that's my guess. I can't find the article, but yeah, um, it probably had some kind of weird tie-in because of the timing of the impeachment proceedings. Um, and I'm going to leave it at that because I don't, I don't, I mean, I'm not, don't consider myself to be into politics or politicians at all. I know every now and then, they kind of cross paths with entertainment, but after given to what happened over the period of 4 years during his presidency is a little bit too much. Um, and that I'm not going to go any further with it because I know people will disagree with me. I mean, there will be people who disagree with me. That's fine.
Yeah,
But I don't want it to be the main. I don't want it to be a thing.
I hear you, brother. Well, I right in the same boat.
Right. So the Matrix 4
Oh yeah.
has some pictures with Keanu Reeves and Carrie-Anne Moss.
Like Linda Carter when I was, just a little kid.
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah.
I fell in love with Linda Carter when The Matrix came out. That Carrie Ann Moss turned into another like hard crush of mine.
Yep.
I I know she's a lot older now.
Yeah.
I shouldn't say a lot older, and like Linda Carter, she aged very nicely.
Yeah,
But
well, she was in the Jessica Jones
right,
show on
right,
Netflix. Right, it was a recurring role, yeah.
yeah, not enough, if you ask me. But anyways,
Right. Okay.
yeah, uh, I'm all for more Carrie. So, I did like the Matrix series. I definitely liked the first movie more than
Right.
uh, the other two. I thought they were kind of stretching
Right.
with a lot of the storylines and but I thought all the effects, they were really cool and the the stunt work and everything that was all great. But
Right.
um, yeah, if they want to do another one, and if it maybe is just maybe one more, just to kind of maybe close things out. eh, But I feel like they kind of did already. But
Yeah. I
um,
don't sometimes it's like so remakes are not so much remakes but like sequels are like that funny thing.
yeah,
You know what I mean? And sometimes there's a lot of like mixed reactions to them. Um, I don't. Okay, so you want to make money on the property, obviously, and who somebody felt that there was a story to be told, whether you like it or not. And I don't know what you could do because if I remember correctly, Keanu Reeves' character was um, he was dead.
spoilers, spoilers.
Yeah, spoilers. Yeah, if you haven't seen it by now, too late. Um,
when
but yeah,
when did that last movie come out? Like
wow.
it was
Uh,
it's before
well, the
2000.
first one, well, no, because the first one came out, yeah, late 90s,
99.
99, 2000, something like that. Yeah. I know there was space between the three, releases.
Uh-huh.
So I mean, to me, what I remember of Matrix 3 was it seemed to be like a good, like it just ended well. I mean, it wasn't real strong, but it ended well.
Yeah.
But I don't know what you could do with 4. I don't know what you could possibly do with 4. I don't like. I mean, I mean, it's going to be a really amazing, kick-ass movie. Hopefully, the stunt work reflects that because that was one of the really huge components of the movie too. Was the stunt work and the martial arts and just the action in it, especially the acting. Um, well, speaking of Keanu Reeves, we watched John Wick 3.
I have not seen a single John
Oh my
movie.
God. Why, where have you been? Like, you need to go binge watch all 3 movies.
Okay. Does the streaming service have all three movies?
Oh shit. Depend.
Uh,
Well, I don't know, but you have to go see the movie.
uh,
Because they're that good.
I don't think I can find John Wick at Redbox, and
Yeah,
I
you
don't know if
can.
the first one.
I don't know about the first one. The third one you could. Or no, you would need to see the second one.
See, I don't know.
I don't know either. It's a good movie. Now the third one, to kind of somewhat spoil it, it's nothing but like nonstop action for, I want to say 15 or 20 minutes. And my
All right.
wife I don't want to give away how it starts, but it was key to it ties in with what took place in John Wick 2. And even so much so as I thought, my wife almost shut that movie off. Well,
You
no,
see,
because there was just too much action. There wasn't a whole lot of substance to it. It was just a lot of action, a lot of fighting. And then once it settled down, it got into the storyline and the complications of thereof. But I don't want to give away, I don't want to give away the plot points or anything. There goes my dog. Speaking of dogs,
yeah, isn't the dog a major plot point in John Wick?
yeah, well, into the first one, yeah. Oh, all right, hang on one second.
So John Wick must be a favorite movie of Jason's dog. Also, like, yes, this guy avenged his dog, and if a man can go through an hour and a half of huge amounts of violence for his dog, then that gets my paw of approval. Yes. And you're going to have fun listening to that one after you play this one back, Jason. um, let me see. How about a recommendation? What have I gotten into this week? Kind of blanking at the moment. Haven't had a whole lot of time to do stuff. Haven't played any video games lately. Let's see. I'm going to recommend, and I can't feel like I can recommend it just yet, but after flipping through a little bit of it, I picked up a new Star Wars series comic by Marvel. The writer is Charles Soule, and the artist, I believe, if I can find the credits here, is Jesus Saiz. I'm not exactly sure if I know much about the artist, but looking through the book, it looks pretty good. And it directly deals with the events as they happened after The Empire Strikes Back. Now, I know that's been done before in other books, like Shadows of the Empire. And I don't know if this is it will tie into that, even though I think technically that's not canon anymore. But, I'm not really one for a Star Wars comic book. But I did see that Charles Soule wrote it, which I had the pleasure of meeting at GalaxyCon Minneapolis last November, and he was kind of carrying the panel until Scott Snyder and Greg Capullo showed up. So he kind of got a little bit more intimate with the fans and kind of got to see a lot of what he was like, and he is a very funny and genuine person. So He's kind of got my vote as a good writer, and I look forward to anything that he will be putting out. And because this Star Wars comic is kind of uh, involved directly with the original trilogy, which is near and dear to my heart, I am going to recommend to everyone to try to pick that copy up and give it a good look at.
Pick up what?
I gave my recommendation for there's a new Star Wars series comic book from Marvel.
Oh yeah?
Uh-huh.
What is it?
It's just called Star Wars. Like
Oh
Star
yeah.
Wars. That's it.
Oh, you mean like how they did it back in like the 80s, 70s, 80s?
Um so
yeah.
this one is uh it, it starts out showing Luke getting his hand cut off by Vader at the end of Empire.
Oh wow.
So it's kind of, I don't know if it's more of like an inward story. It's about about Luke and what he's going to be going through after he finds you know after he's been revealed about stuff. But
Right.
it doesn't look like it's like an adventure. It's so
Okay.
much.
Right.
So
Wow, that's cool.
I recommend you go pick it up and find out yourself.
Right.
Because I actually haven't read it yet.
Yeah. um, I don't know what that was. Oh, let's see. You know what? Okay, on the flip side of that, go read um, Walt Simonson's Thor Ragnarok.
Oh, okay.
I read like the first like I don't know, it wasn't necessarily a trade, but it was like a collected thing of it. The artwork is really good, and the storyline was really good. Like it was just it was superb. Apparently, when it starts off, Thor is dead, and he is these bones. It's really good, really well done. Yeah, Walt Simonson's Ragnarok.
How long ago did that come out?
Ooh, I have to look it up. Hang on. Give me a second. Was a short episode for us. Walt. No, it's Ragnarok. Damn it. Yeah. Let's see. It came out. Let's see. The collected version, though, is what I read. It's really good. It has a lot of the concept art in it too.
Okay.
It is clicks issues 1 through. He launched it in 2014 on IDW Publishing.
That story. Okay.
That one, the one I was telling you about like a while ago.
Yes.
Yeah,
Oh,
go check that out because that guy can do no wrong. And if you really want to geek out, if you can find some interviews with him and his wife, are fantastic.
okay.
Because his wife is in the comic, Louise Simonson's in the industry
Right.
as well as a colorist and some other stuff too, editing. Yeah, Walt Simonson's Ragnarok. Go check it out.
That's cool. Yeah. I've been wanting to do that. I never got a chance. I kept thinking that you were talking about like a Marvel
No, no,
uh
no, 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 no.
Thor
Because we
comic.
got to be fair, we got to show love to everybody. I mean,
Oh,
we
yeah.
can't. I mean,
Yeah.
that's kind of the whole point of it. Um,
Okay.
so this episode is going to come out since we were able to record last week, and I was able to put one up. This one will come out after Valentine's Day, so we can get, because I will be out of town that week.
Okay. Where are you going?
So, I'm going to go see the oldest son and the other grandchild.
Cool.
In the Tampa Bay area, which is kind of cool. I haven't seen her. I haven't seen the grandkid, since she was a baby, because of work, and I can't get time off, or it's blacked out, and so she's seen me on every now and then. Sherry and her oldest son will FaceTime each other, and with their grandkid in the room, and play around. So I'm kind of looking forward to that. I don't, and also I never get time off for it. So it's a nice chance to get a vacation while I can get a vacation.
Oh yeah. No, it's needed sometimes.
Yeah. So
I'm too young for grandkids, so.
Philip, you're only like what, a year younger than me?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm younger than you, so I'm definitely.
You're not that much
too
younger
young
than
for
me.
grandkids.
You're only like a year younger than me. Jesus, you sound like you're like 20 or something.
Mentally?
That's too funny. Well, okay, let's not pick on you on your mental state, okay? Don't pick on me on my mental state. So yeah, so it'll come on. So this will come out on. Jeez, my brain farted. Yeah, this will come out the week following Valentine's Day, Friday. So we look forward. So you can look forward to that. So I guess, is that it? Anything else you want to talk about?
Besides a new microphone, did you get anything this week of that you want to brag about, or?
No, because if I do, well, okay, so I didn't, but my wife got her long-awaited Christmas gift, and she's using it now.
Oh, cool.
She wanted this. I don't remember what the company name was, but she wanted like a mini floor scrubber. That will, because we have tile floors and grout, and just to clean it up, because
Right.
she fusses at me for coming in the house with, like, the mud or sand on my shoes, and I can't help it because I'm either walking a dog or doing something.
Mm-hmm.
So she finally got that. I don't, outside of the microphone, I don't typically get myself anything. But yeah, I was able to get that for her, so she's happy with it.
Nice
That
job.
is, yeah. Well, it's like, what, 2 months late. But yeah, but other than that, yeah, it's been interesting. So, but so we're gonna go ahead and wrap this. We'll just go ahead and wrap this up. And
Sure.
and so anyway, thank you for tuning in. If you have any thoughts, questions, you can email us at the official Ashcan podcast at gmail.com. You can follow us at YouTube on the Ashcan podcast, and our Facebook page. I think it's the Ashcan podcast. I can't remember anymore. Like, subscribe, comment, and I'm Jason.
I'm Phil.
And we will see you later. Y'all have a great day, great week.
Happy Valentine's Day, everybody. Goodbye.
Yeah.